Hi, guys. I'm waiting for my friend Felix to get involved here, get in here. Just want to tell you a little bit about the man. We're going to talk about Felix Giles. We're going to tell him, everything about him. Let's see. I'm trying to get this to work. Let's see. It's not letting me put it in there. I don't know why. Nothing. It's on Facebook. It says it's on Facebook. We're live. So let's see what's going on here, guys. You can see me. You can hear me. I know you're all there. Yeah, I am live. I'm waiting for Felix Giles to come in. Let me see if I can do this again. Let's see. My guest today is my friend, race car driver, Felix Giles. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. We'll see. He'll tell me. He'll tell me if I'm pronouncing his name today or not, right? Right? Anyway, I'm waiting for Felix to get involved. I'm going to get my good friend Rob to get in here. Rob is going to come on, and I'm going to ask Rob to join us and share with, Felix, about Felix and everything, so we can get the double exposure. We can talk about both stations. We can talk about, pretty much anything that Felix wants to talk about. I'm open for suggestions. The only thing I tell him is no political. Let's not get political today. So I have my friend, I have one friend, Rob Scribner, coming on. See if Rob can get in with no problems. Sometimes, listen, sometimes we have Wi-Fi issues. Sometimes we have problems with other things. But it's okay. You know why? Because we're living and we're learning, right? Rob will be coming in soon. I have Felix coming on very soon. We're going to talk about Felix a little bit before he comes here, a little bit about Felix, about what's going on with him. Oh, he can't get in. That's probably the problem. Let me just talk to Felix. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. Felix, I'm actually on StreamYard now. How you doing, by the way? Can you hear me?
So this isn't a Zoom?
No, this is all browser based. So all I got to do is click on the link and it should take you right in. Try it, see if it works. Yeah, and everything automatically will work. Yeah, so I'm waiting for my buddy Rob to come in. It should work real quick for you, no problem.
Okay, were you able to talk to Sid?
I said hi to him. That's about it. I got Ranger Rob in. He's here. So me and my buddy Ranger Rob he's from Good Talk Radio, and of course I'm from Hamilton Radio. I invited him in. He wanted to meet you, and we'll talk. Rob, you can hear me and see me?
Yep.
Yeah, see, he's already on. So I'm waiting for you, Felix.
Okay, let me now.
It should be no problem getting in because everything's automatic with this program. That's what I like about it. We'll see here. We'll see you when you get here then, okay?
All right. See you in a minute.
Okay, thank you. That was Felix, by the way, Rob. He just he thought I sent him Zoom codes. I said, no, I'm not doing Zoom. I want to keep testing this program out. I really, really like it. I really like it.
You convinced me to use it.
Right. And then I love the idea that I can just switch and it's quick and easy and editing is so there's less I can share the screen and there's so many different things I'm learning how to do.
Does it record the show onto your computer too?
Well, it records it on its cloud. So technically you don't have to do anything, which I like too, because I don't have to put it on my computer. Less resources, less memory, and then you go through and you keep what you want. You can download anything you want, which is what I like. It records it on their cloud. So anyway, Rob, I'm waiting for Felix to come in. If Felix is a race car driver, as I told you. He is, I believe, a military vet as well. I want to talk about that with him. Yeah, and for right now, and just what he's doing in his life. He's doing a lot of stuff for military people.
Nice.
So he worked for is a sonar technician submarine for service at U.S. Navy.
Wow.
He studied computer science at National University, Irvine, California. Went to John F. Kennedy High School. Met some major celebrities along the way. Michael Jackson being one of them. Just a great guy to know. I mean, I've known him a while, but until the software and stuff like that, we've kicked back and just like, okay, well, we'll talk eventually, whatever. Never really got to do it. So he might be having a Wi-Fi problem or something like that, but we'll see. He might come in. Give him a couple minutes. So Rob, are we live on Good Talk Radio too, or?
No, I didn't. If I knew how, I would have.
That's fine. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that's fine. It's okay.
Actually,
we're live on Hamilton Radio right now. I put us on Hamilton Radio because there's no shows on, and I'm waiting for him to come in.
I am going to put us on Good Talk Radio right now.
Oh, beautiful. See, when you're the owner, guys, when you're the owner, you can do anything you want, right, Rob? We can do anything we want, whatever we want. We hear some type of seminar or special. I remember all the scammers they used to call. I used to put them right on the live on the radio, and I say, "Oh, you're live on the radio. What can I do for you?" What? Yeah, you're live on the radio. You've got a lot of people listening all over the world. Tell me about your business. And they hang
I have a couple of friends that do that to me all the time. It's like either they didn't get a guest or something, and they'll just call me up and say, "Rob, you're on the radio. My guest didn't show up."
Hey, former radio show host with Hamilton Radio, Art Silvano, also a musician and a great guy, all around great guy. Former Philadelphia detective, great guy for the children's division. Hey, Art, how you doing, brother? Nice to see you. I'm waiting for my good friend, and race car driver, Felix Giles. Well, we'll see when he comes in. If he doesn't come in, then we'll shut off and go to Zoom. I mean, what can I do, right? I just, I don't know. Sometimes things work, sometimes they don't.
Yeah, we'll talk about something.
I know, we will.
You and I have no problem with that.
Never. My wife says sometimes I don't shut up. That's the biggest problem of us. You don't shut up.
You're going to hate it when I get my studio back. I'm going to be doing shows all the time.
I love it. Oh, I really love it. You guys, yeah. So me and Rob teamed up, and I'm hoping to do this once in a while with Rob when he's not as busy as he is. He's got less. Oh, he can't get through it. Hold on.
All right. One moment, please.
He's calling again. Yeah, Felix, can you get in?
Yeah, man. Can you see me there?
I don't see you yet. Are you? It says you're. He says he's in there, but I don't see him yet. So I'm waiting for it. See, on the bottom, you'll see a little picture pop up where you're coming in. And then I'll be able to put you in the broadcast. Supposed to be super easy to do. There you let's see. It says your device is not connected. Oh, let's see. Hold on. Here it comes. There you are, Felix. Okay, there you are.
There he is.
How you doing, Felix?
Doing great.
By the way, thank you so much for this. And of course, I got my friend Rob Scribner from Good Talk Radio here. Of course, I'm Doc G from Hamilton Radio, and we welcome you both to our show, Doc G Presents.
Yep, you're also on Good Talk Radio Facebook
and Hamilton Radio. You're being broadcasted everywhere, Felix. So we've been friends a long time, and we really don't know each other very, very well. So just tell me a little bit about Felix. I mean, I see that you're a race car driver. You've done all kinds of great things over your period of years. You're sonar technician. So just tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio. Was brought up during the time of segregation and integration, and witnessed Dr. King being killed, as well as both of the Kennedys, and witnessed a lot of things in civil rights and supported that. My mother held political office in Ohio.
Oh, wow.
And after growing up in Cleveland,
We lose you? We must have lost him. Sometimes these things, guys, it's a Wi-Fi issue.
There he is. He's back.
Go ahead.
and I served 13 years in the Navy as a submarine sailor, sonar technician.
Thank you for that.
Air weapons reliability team and foreign military sales team, and naval instructor. After that, got out of the military after 13 years, became an aerospace engineer, which has been my lifelong dream.
Wow.
I saw John Glenn go into outer space, and I decided then, and I was only a kid, I was about 10 or 11, and decided that I wanted to be an engineer. And the military was my best opportunity to get the education I needed to become an engineer. So I got out of the military, went into engineering, helped build the stealth bomber, which was
Oh, really? Wow, that's cool.
engineering situation. Also worked on nuclear hardening, submarine systems, and vast other situations. From there, I went into teaching. I was a college professor for 5 years, and that led into racing. And when I made history, I was honored at the White House and on the floor of Congress.
Wow, I'm so impressed. Rob, you got any questions for our gentleman here? That's
I'm
amazing.
going
That's
with
an amazing
Paul.
resume, by the way.
A lot of the aerospace stuff, I come from aerospace also. So I was in electronics and so yeah, I relate to some of the programs he was on.
Definitely.
Wow, that's an impressive resume. I mean, really, I tip my hat off to you first for being in the military, and then the things that you went through. And I don't want to touch on this really, but I do. The way things are today, it seems like we're going back in time, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, as a matter of fact, it is. It's unfortunate, but I've never seen the country so divided. And between the three of us, we've all been here a long time.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And I've just never seen it this divided, and it's really a shame. I mean, we have people dying every day. This virus is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Being a military guy, it's not a thing where you decide to have a certain party. You're pretty bipartisan because of the fact that as a military guy, you serve the commander in chief and you serve the country. So it's not about serving a specific party, but right now everything is about specific parties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the only thing I can really say, depending on who your person is that we have to vote.
I totally agree.
That's one of the things being from aerospace and from the lazy bee you used to call it, but we're never lazy. We embraced diversity so much that, the engineers I work with and stuff could be from Russia, they could be Muslim, they could be anybody. We worked hand in hand, and we're really proud of that. And then to see things reverse has been really just odd. It's like we're really doing well and getting better, and it seems like we're taking steps back, and it's really sad.
Well, it's more than sad. the violence is unbelievable.
I know.
Blaming people is just not what this country is all about. I mean, the only time in my lifetime that I have seen this country truly come together was during 9/11.
Yep.
And
I
it's
totally agree.
unfortunate, but that's the only time I've ever seen us as a country come together where everyone was carrying American flags, no one was protesting, everyone was basically saying, how dare they attack us like this? And let's do what we do as a country to pay them back. And I totally supported that.
Yeah, I was there too. It's like, yeah, it felt good to be together, but it was also a little scary too.
You know, it was scary, but it was a wake-up call. This country had become pretty complacent with believing that we were untouchable. And when you become that, there's always somebody around that can change your opinion.
So true.
What happened during that time. And so I had hoped that that was going to be the lane that we stayed in. Unfortunately, people have short memories.
Very true. Yeah.
So it's a situation that I don't know. It bothers me that it seems like it takes trauma in order for us to come together as a people. And we're supposed to learn. Dr. King said basically we either learn to live together or we die as fools. And I tell you something, it's made a huge difference, and a lot of people are dying as fools right now.
Very sad. So let's go forward now and try to deal with or go backward a little bit. But let's talk about your racing car as you're a racing car driver. What was that like? That had to be an amazing time for you, and especially to survive it too.
Well, I had a few wonderful experiences with racing. I never aspired to be a race car driver. My thing was to be an engineer. The racing pretty much was an accident. And I ended up going in off-road when I was working in engineering with a friend of mine named Reuben Herndon. And he was an old prospector, and he took me out off-roading for the first time. And you gotta understand, for me, off-roading was bad day in the snow back in Cleveland. And so, but when he took me out to the deserts here in California and Arizona and Nevada, I just fell in love with it and pretty much became a guy that went out and bought a four-wheel drive after the first weekend of going to the desert. I followed him for a couple of years, exploring everything, and that segued into racing, off-road racing. And when I actually had my first time to drive,
Right.
I'd been, chasing support for a couple of teams. I'd never been the driver, but, as a chase driver, and this is the person that chases the race car. And so if something breaks, I step in and I fix it, or I supply whatever is needed, tires, whatever. And I was out running a lot of the race vehicles with a stock vehicle. And somebody said, this guy needs to be behind the wheel. Rick Simon, he was the guy that gave me the opportunity to race for the first time. And when it happened, I didn't know that I was going to be the first Black person to race the Baja 1000 in history. It was being the 1 millionth customer at Disneyland. All of a sudden, wonderful things happen. And in my very first race, I had a rollover crash, but we still finished the race.
Wow. So some of the races you've been in had to be amazing. Like you said, you met a lot of great, interesting people. It looks like you met Michael Jackson at one point. That I saw that one picture. I'm like, oh, that had to be a really great time for you.
Well, this has allowed me to meet a lot of my heroes and a lot of wonderful icons, and I've done so much work, in supporting different charities, and because of that, you get to meet a lot of people. And Michael Jackson was one. Dale Earnhardt was another one of my heroes. Got to meet him. He was a wonderful person. It was a shame because he did get killed in the Daytona 500, which was terrible for all of us that love racing. And but from Lee Iacocca to Muhammad Ali, I met them all, and so it was just wonderful to meet these people and to become friends with some of them.
Well, you were a celebrity in your own right. Like I said, the impressive resume list that you have. I mean, oh my God, unbelievable. So your life, basically, you've done a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful life, but I give all of the credit to my parents, because they did their job in giving me the opportunity to have a life that allowed me to have an open mind and understand that what it took more than anything else was hard work. And they also taught me that, being a person of color, that I truly did have to work twice as hard as the guy next to me to almost equal. And a lot of times I did that, and it worked out. I pretty much became an overachiever. So yeah, I've gone into many different areas, and I've been looking forward to do more.
So what's some of your latest passions?
Well, I truly want to see peace come to our country. I really do. I mean,
I'm in the same page with you there.
The killing of Black people has to stop.
Totally agree.
Police have to stop. I mean, I was pretty upset recently. We had two deputy sheriffs that were ambushed here in California.
Saw that.
Just sitting there, and people need to understand that it's such a small minority of bad cops out there.
Right.
Most
That's
of them
That's right.
would be willing to, put their life on the line for any of us. But it's just a shame that we have innocent Black folks getting killed, and we have innocent police getting killed. And it's a situation where where does this go? Where does it stop? And I hope we get the leadership that it takes in this country to bring us back together as a company. I mean, not a company, but a country of everyone working together and pulling their fair share, instead of this divided nation that we've become. And it's a situation where that should be everybody's passion right now.
That's right.
Everyone should be looking for a way of how they can do something to make this place better. If we're not doing that, our passions really don't mean much, because until it's a safe place, look at us. We're all sitting in quarantine.
Yeah.
We're all restricted. The wonderful passions that we have that we want to do, they're all restricted. We've got to do what it takes to bring this country back to the great country that it's been all these years.
Felix, you did something good. Around, hold on. Felix, you did something with the Dolphins. What was that thing? I just saw that recently. You posted on that. Can you explain a little bit about that? That was with the military too, or something?
Well, I'm a submarine sailor, and with a submarine sailor, we earn our dolphins like a pilot earns his wings. The dolphins are two fish, and with a submarine in the middle. And it takes us a year to qualify on every system on the submarine, like we went to school for it. And people have always asked me what was my proudest moment of all of my accomplishments. And it's very easy for me. It's always been earning my dolphins on board submarines and serving my country. And there's nothing that I can say to me that I've been more proud of. You know, I've been honored at the White House and on the floor of Congress. Those were great situations, but I earned my dolphins. And submarine sailors will tell you how important that is. And we have a wonderful community of submarine sailors that we all support each other.
Go ahead, Rob. Your question.
Well, I was just kind of curious on the conversation we were having before is, in your opinion, as individuals, let's say you and I and all of us, what's some of the best messages or best things that we can do to get past those? You probably see it too, where we're trying to show people how proud we were about how we were coming together, and then seeing this destruction of going the opposite. How do we, in your opinion, I'd just love to hear your opinion of what are some things that we can do as individuals to take one step at a time to bring us back together and embrace diversity?
Number one, we have to respect each other's choices. Just because someone decides that their situation, which is different than mine, I can't look at that and say, well, you're wrong, because everyone has their choice and their opinion. It's our right in this country.
Yeah.
The thing we have to do is respect each other's choices and not try to come down on each other because we believe a certain way.
Right.
And once we can at least start doing that, if you remember back in the 50s and 60s, Republican and Democrat presidential people campaigning, it wasn't about all of this name calling and all of the crazy stuff. They both had respect for each other. It wasn't a situation of let me prove how bad you are. It was a situation back then of let me tell you what my plan is to make a difference. And so it's a situation of mutual respect. We've lost that in this country.
I agree.
If we're able to do that again, it doesn't make a difference. We can do everything we can to jump out there and try to convince the other side that our situation is right. You're not going to convince somebody else that believes in a certain situation that their situation is more important or less important than yours. And so that mutual respect for each other and coming back and you know, voting like we're supposed to be doing here in 30 days, that's what it's going to take. I mean, people have totally lost respect for each other.
I know. It's like, well, while we're all talking here, just in this short time, you and I have just discovered we're both from aerospace.
Mm-hmm.
I come from the desert land. I came from Arizona and used to actually see where they're doing the racing out there and stuff. And it's like, oh my gosh, he's one of those drivers, because that was like the most insane thing I've ever seen. And it's like, that's the only thing that's important about meeting each other is our commonalities. And that's it. And so I know, like, you and I would instantly be friends. Just and that's how life is. But everybody else is seeing all these. What category are you in? And it's like I'm in the category of meeting good friends.
Well, that's what it's all about. You know, it truly is all about that. For me, I truly miss the camaraderie of the military.
Sure.
Yes.
I mean, I saw a little meme the other day, and it showed 6 military guys carrying a casket. And it said basically, no military guy ever worries the color of the person in this casket. And that's how it really was in the military. We had each other's backs. You had to depend on the guy next to you to, you know, possibly save your life if it came down to that, or you their life. And, you know, it's just a situation where we have to get back together, you know, being a country again. and being what we all knew growing up. I mean, as a small child, I remember when church in Alabama was bombed and those 4 little girls were killed, and I was afraid to go to church for a year.
Yeah.
You know, and we're starting to have that type of violence all over again. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not going to help anything. It's not going to fix anything. I mean, how do you have a protest about masks and take weapons into the state capitol building to protest masks and then say, "Oh, this is worse than slavery"? I don't
understand it. Yeah, you're right. I don't.
I don't get this. I mean, talk about overkill. And so, common sense needs to, have some value. And it seems like a lot of people have lost their common sense.
Me and Rob talk about the common sense all the time, and what you just touched on is absolutely something that I don't know how to get it back. I know I instill it in my daughters, and I try to instill it in my wife and people around me. But if they don't understand it or they don't have any idea of common sense, how do they learn it? It's something that we learned when we were kids. I mean, that's how I learned.
The unfortunate thing, it's just like grace in class. You either have it or you don't.
Right, exactly.
And so I wish there was a way that people could go to school and get common sense, but there truly isn't. Common sense comes from experiences and learning. And, some people continue to do the same thing over and over, make the same mistake, and that's called insanity. And we have a lot of insanity in this country right now.
That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Hey, can you take us through a day on the submarine? What was it like for you when you were on that submarine? Because I'm curious to see how you functioned during the day. What did you, how'd you wake up? What did you do? A little bit of, summary of what you went through for a day at submarine.
Well, submarine service is unlike any other service in the military. Only 3% of people in the Navy could serve on submarines. You're talking about a situation where we're underwater for up to 85 days at a time.
Wow.
And without coming up. So it's a good thing I'm still normal. But, on a submarine, we don't have windows. So you can't tell if it's day or night.
Right.
Well, the only way that you can tell if it's day or night is the color of the lights that are on. If it's nighttime, we have red light. If it's daytime, we have white light. And so the other thing is it's pretty much easy for someone like me who has no phobias to be on a submarine. If you can imagine going in your bathroom, closing the door, and staying there for 85 days.
Do it. I can't do it.
That's probably what it's like being on a submarine. And so, we had the best food in all the militaries because of 2 submarines that we lost, the Scorpion and the Thresher. And because of losing those 2 submarines, they've given us, wonderful food. They gave us hazardous duty pay. And it was still a wonderful camaraderie because we were doing something that we knew that 97% of people couldn't do.
Wow. That's amazing. I don't know. I couldn't handle it. I claustrophobic. You're right. All the phobias. I give it up to you for that. How you went through that. Oh my God.
Well, it was a pretty crazy, selection process too, because back then submarine sailors were handpicked. And so everyone took the military tests for choosing what your job would be in the military. And in that test was a very small section, which was a psychological test.
Okay.
Only the people that aced that part were considered for submarines. And it was a very small group of people. But then you had to volunteer for submarines. And what they did pretty much was most people didn't want to go on something that sank on purpose, and I was one of them. And so when they were giving us our dream sheets in boot camp, where you say, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? You had 5 choices. For me, they said, why don't you put submarines down as your last choice? And I went, but I don't want to be on submarines. Because I wanted to be on aircraft carriers. They said, put it down as your last choice. You'll never get it.
Yeah, I've heard
Well,
that.
I ended up on submarines because putting that submarines anywhere on paper was volunteering for submarines.
Oh no!
I ended up in submarine duty.
So, in submarine service, what is some? I mean, a lot of us always comprehend what it's like to be on a battleship, but in a submarine, what's some of the unique anxieties or situations that come up in submarines? Like, it's kind of hard to comprehend. Like, when are you at high alert? What are some of the things that happen that the average Joe like me would not be aware of that goes on in that category of service?
You want to know what the number one thing was? Not being able to communicate with your loved ones.
Oh, that's got to be.
Oh, that'd be terrible. Yeah.
Be tough.
Because what we had was number one, we couldn't transmit on our radio on a submarine because we were always in a very dangerous situation where we're in people's backyards and stuff like that. So we could only receive messages. We couldn't transmit. So we had something called a familygram, which was a little like somewhere around 20 words that one of your loved ones could send you. And we could only receive 3 of those in the 3 months that we were there.
Wow.
Out at sea. And so communicating with our loved ones was hard. Other than that, I'm a submarine sailor. There wasn't anything else that was hard.
Yeah.
It would be hard to most folks, even my bunk. My bunk was so tiny between the mattress and the bunk above me that in order for me to turn over, I had to slide out of my bunk too big in order to turn over. Now, how many people, that's like sleeping in a coffin. I mean, do that, and it's just like now, when I go to the VA and if I have to have an MRI, I mean, just think of it when you're in an MRI tube, how freaky it is for you.
You can't move.
Me, it's like, Mr. Giles, you can wake up now. Because it means nothing to me. I'm a submarine sailor. So yeah, I was on the Fleet Ballistic Missile submarine. So one submarine carried enough firepower to equal all the ordnance used in World War II. One submarine.
Wow.
So it was a situation of, if we ever had to launch our missiles, we knew that our loved ones were already gone.
Oh, yeah.
So, but you have to be okay with that and understand that and be able to continue to do your job. So it was a lot of situations like that. Also, the Russians were always looking for us. And so we had to play that cat and mouse game all the time. And being a sonar tech, it was my job to find them.
And you were in the earlier parts of the submarines when submarines were just learning technologies, and the new technologies today are so much more advanced than they were years ago. So that I was going to ask you, did you happily actually see the technology change in the submarine?
Oh, yeah. Because I was on 6 different submarines. 2 of them were diesel. One of them was a World War II submarine where we only got to shower once a week, whether we needed it or not. Technology on that, and to a nuclear submarine where you can shower any day of the week that you want, any time of the day. And and you have all these wonderful situations like going from a small hut to a mansion. And so to see that technology change and to be a part of that, because I went to over 30 schools when I was in the submarine service.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And I was going to ask you the same technology change you've seen with the cars too, because as I was an automotive technician for the New Jersey State Police for 25 years, I saw a lot of technology changes with the sensors and computers and things like that. You must have seen all that too. What was your did you have to learn how to change your racing style when you raced? I mean, not to get off the subject, but to get back on this subject, did you change your racing style at all because of the technology's changed, or did you have to relearn?
Well, the technology, what it did was it allowed us to go faster.
Yeah, I know that.
And the situation was when I first started racing, I had like 9 inches of wheel travel where the wheel can move up and down inside, the housing there. Now they're racing with 36 inches of wheel travel. So they can go over 5-foot whoops at 90 miles an hour and it feels like you're driving smooth.
Yeah.
So the technology has made it so that we can go faster. We don't get lost because now we have GPS. Back then, the co-driver was holding the map, and trying to read while everything was shaking.
Yeah, I know.
Now everything is pretty much done for you. Before you had to jump out if you had a flat and take the jack out and put it wherever we were and jack up. Now they have automatic jacks that just come down from the vehicle, lift the truck up on one side, you change the wheel, back in the race vehicle and gone. So everything is about speed now, the speed of fixing anything auxiliary wise and the speed of racing itself.
So do you get out to I assume that you're probably not racing anymore, but are you still going out there and tearing up the desert?
Well, we are working right now on getting sponsorship for next year. We want to return to racing, because everybody's wanted me to write a book, and Universal bought the rights to my life story. I have it back, but the thing is, I didn't want to do a book until I had the right ending, and the right ending for me is to return to racing. And I don't have to win the Baja 1000, but I just want to go back and finish, the race that almost killed me, because I had a terrible crash where I had, injury. I had 2 cracked vertebrae in my neck, arm, shoulder, ribs, lower lumbar, and heart damage. And it took 2.5 years to heal. And it knocked me out of racing because I couldn't pass a physical. Well, now I can't. Gene, recently, last week, one of our race vehicles was put into the Peterson Automotive Museum.
Oh, nice.
So it was a wonderful honor. They did a nice display for me, for making history. And so I'm honored to have one of our race vehicles there. We're going to do a celebration for bringing it out once the COVID-19 eases. And so because none of the museums in Los Angeles are open at this time.
So you don't have like a desert sand rail in your garage just for fun?
No, believe it or not, I tried. After I got hurt, I tried going to a couple of races, and it was just too depressing for me. I'm a spectator. I'm one of the.
Yeah.
It's just not my thing to be on the sidelines, wishing everybody well. I mean, I'm the guy that's out there. I would say with my hair on fire, but of course, more. But I just want to get back out.
The only one here with hair.
Yeah, so we're doing everything we can right now to try and locate sponsorship to see if we can go back out there and make some more history.
Yeah, and here's the thing, I talked to wrestlers about this too. I asked Jack Lord. I talked to Terry Runnels, who was WWE superstar with her husband Dustin Goldust. I said, "What makes you want to get back out there if you got hurt from doing it?" And she said, "It's just the thrill of the game." Is that what it is? Is it the thrill of the game for you?
I've accomplished a lot of things, and I just like to finish what I start, and to not be able to complete this on my terms, because I got injured,
Right.
a situation that drives me to want to end it right. I've always, done everything I can to finish what I start and to keep my word. And those things are very important in life to me.
Well, I love that. I love that. I love that. Your attitude. Your attitude is amazing. You're a wonderful guy, Felix. I mean, the stuff, like I said, the stuff that you have accomplished, the things that you have done, man, I got to give my hat off to you. I really do. You're an amazing person.
Well, thank you,
Is
Gene.
there anything that you would have wanted done if once you complete this? Is there anything else that you would have done if you didn't do the racing or didn't do the submarine? Was there any other thing that you were planning on doing and you didn't do, or something like that?
The only thing I ever really wanted to be ever since my childhood was an engineer. And I was an engineer for 10 years, and I did that. I worked on some of the most top secret projects in history. And
Can you talk about the stealth at all? Because I remember you said a little bit of the stuff. Can you talk about a little bit engineering process?
I could talk about it, but then I'd have to shoot you.
Well, that's what I said. Can you?
And everybody listening, right?
Well, the wonderful thing about the stealth, Jack Northrop had a dream, and it was a dream that he wanted a flying wing. And the original flying wing, of course, had propellers and everything like that. But he felt that it would be a great bomber. At the time, people didn't realize that it would be stealthy. But because it didn't have a cross section, a cross section is like this. So where you have, the rear wing plus the rudder, that's
Right.
a cross section. That is what radar picks up. And so they wanted to have a situation where a plane could basically fly invisible to radar. And everything that we did for that plane, including the coating of it, the shapes, the engines not putting out, all of the same outputs that a regular engine would put out that's detectable by radar. It made such a difference, and it was a pride and joy for us to be able to make something that nobody else in the world had. We were the first ones to develop stealth technology, and it's one of the things to be proud about this country. We've had some of the most wonderful innovations on Earth and in history, and that was one of them.
And my son in the Air Force actually worked on the 35 F-35.
Yeah, the F-35. It's the stealth.
Where he specialized in the carbon material on the outside and things like that. So, and that's about all he could talk about.
You know what that carbon does? Basically, it absorbs radar. So
yeah, it's like a big sponge.
Return. So, yeah, it's a wonderful thing working with all that wonderful technology. But when I was on the B-2, my security clearance was above top secret. So when I had to travel for them to different situations, I traveled as an import salesman. Being out here, I love going to Tijuana.
But not so much for the B-2.
Yeah, in order for me to go to Tijuana when I was working on that project, I had to get permission from the company, because they had to know when I was going in, when I would return, and where I was going. And I couldn't, change any of that. And so, yeah, it was just a wonderful time working with those systems.
I always tell kids today, if they ever get an opportunity to work in aerospace in almost every category, they're almost guaranteed a job for life.
Oh, definitely.
Whether it's military or whether it's working for aerospace companies. I mean, it's like, that was like one of the greatest gifts. My father got me into Boeing back when I was 21, and then worked my way through the ranks. But after that, I never had to worry about a job ever.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, engineering is wonderful. I mean, it's one of the things that I've been able to do. And if I wasn't trying to go back into racing right now, I'd probably be trying to go back into engineering. And so we'll see what happens, Let's see what happens. But
Yeah.
it's a wonderful opportunity. I always wanted to work for NASA. That was my dream, to be an engineer and work for NASA. But once they put me into the defense program and made me a weapons specialist, they never let me go. So I was always an engineer in the defense situation.
So who are some of the celebrities you met? You said you met the president at the White House. So give us like a list of who celebrities you met. You must have met everybody.
Well, I've met, people like Michael Jackson, Dale Earnhardt, Muhammad Ali, who I knew for more than 30 years.
Amazing, man. Amazing.
FloJo, who passed away, Florence Griffith Joyner and her husband Al, and Lee Iacocca, which is another guy. I mean, that guy developed the Mustang. Come on, So, Will Smith. I mean, I can go on and on and on and on and on. I mean, I've met so many people in Hollywood and in politics, and just plain everyday folks that some of them have been even more impressive than some of these big name folks.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. Rob, any other questions, Rob?
Oh, I'm good. Actually, I was really I'm tickled pink I had the opportunity to meet you.
He's an amazing person. We were going to go an extra 30 minutes, but Felix, I mean, you answered pretty much everything I got to say. I mean, you did a great job. I hope you enjoyed the interview. Well,
it's definitely a wonderful interview. It's great meeting both you, Gene, and you, Rob. And like I said, I hope as a country we can get it back together.
Yeah, anytime you need anything, promotion, or you want to just come back and talk about your new things that you got going on, or you're back at the racetrack, and just hit me up, let me know, and we're both owners.
Hopefully next year we'll definitely have something to talk about.
Yeah, because he owns Good Talk Radio and I own Hamilton Radio, and we just merged together, so we're actually both owners. So you're talking to the head people right now. So
wonderful.
So you have no.
It's truly an honor.
It's an honor for us as well.
Can you tell how famous we are? We have these wonderful backgrounds behind us. We're working out.
If you can see my background, it's all submarines. And so
I love it.
And the Arizona Monument in Pearl Harbor, and so it's home.
Thank you so much for the interview, Felix. I really appreciate it.
Well, the pleasure's been mine for both of you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. This is actually, now I'm all excited to go get a sand rail.
Well, it's a lot of fun out there. You just have to keep the shiny side up.
One thing you'll probably relate to this: never wear chapstick when you're out in the desert. Then you turn out having sand all over your lips.
Oh, because it sticks to it. Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
I learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
You think you're helping the lips, but then the sand actually adheres. Oh,
yeah,
no.
Like sandpaper on your lips.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, no. Funny. Oh, thanks a lot, Felix. We really appreciate your time.
Well, you guys have a great rest of your day.
Thank you
so much.
All right, Rob, there you go. See, that's pretty much it. I enjoyed the conversation. We only did 30 minutes, but the guy was very fascinating. He had a lot of great stuff to say, and I mean, all the questions were answered, so I didn't need to see pushing in another 15 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever. So what is your thoughts?
No, I loved it. That's it. When you meet folks our age, it's like our lives are so diversified in different things that we've done. You always find something.
Never done anything compared to some people,
Oh yeah, it's amazing. Like if you really talk to somebody, you always find some part of their life that you have some commonality with. It's like I just had to listen a little bit and go, aerospace, I'm in.
Yeah, see, and you brought up a good, interesting point, and I just will say this before we go. But when you said to him, see, we have that in common. How would you have known if you didn't talk to him? How would you have known if you didn't hear from him? How would you have known if no, I didn't put this together? Again, a lot of things work out for our sakes, and we just, I don't want to talk to him because whatever. So the good lesson to learn here, people, is open your minds and let other people bring people to you, or open your hearts and don't look at the person, but look at the person, what they've done, what they've accomplished in their heart.
Yeah.
And
I always get frustrated. It's like through the years, we worked so hard to be, diversified and work side by side with one another. And the fun part was starting to understand everybody's cultures and backgrounds. So it was nothing cooler than sitting down and somebody was like lived in Korea, but now is an engineer at Boeing, and you're working side by side with them. And it's like, their stories are fascinating. And it's like, so I just find it so amazing that people don't embrace everybody's diversity like we used to, and want to, categorize everybody. It's like, oh my gosh, you're missing out on so many wonderful things about people from all around the world, no matter what culture, what color, whatever. It's sad to see that. So I always get I'm really enjoyed meeting him, because he totally understands what we're all trying to get back, is side by side working together. And it's a wonderful life when everybody embraces their differences.
Yeah, and to see, it doesn't even matter what political party you are, as I tell my friends all the time. It just matters what you feel in your heart.
Yeah, I mean, like people that watch you and I mean, we both have different affiliations, but yet we have a lot of things in common.
How are we united when everybody else is so divided? I don't get that,
I remember that was the fun part. It's like I'd be go hunting with guys, and one believes one another, and all we did, we heckled each other a lot for fun, and then got some good laughs out of it, but we still respected each other's stand on things, and it was fun, and that was. And now it's like everybody tippy toes around each other and gets triggered really easy. It's like, stop.
What's funny, Rob, and I'll make this comment, because when we did have a radio show on the station, it wasn't me. It was the radio show host that was Republican, and he wanted to do a pro politics show. And I said, sure, you can, no problem. And then when he brought the Democrats, here's the thing, he brought a couple Democrats in, and at the end of the show, he said, we're similar. We're just alike. They want the same thing that we want. It's just that you're thrown in this one political party, and you're both agreeing to the same thing. It's just that you're thrown in this one party, and that's where they want you divided amongst the other party. So,
yeah, it's like the world gets all caught up in one little thing. It's like, for example, like, let's say the world goes crazy over you because you have silver hair. It's like, well, wait a minute, I'm much more than just the silver-haired people. I own a radio station. I've done this, and this. Oh, I don't care. You're silver-haired. We just want to talk about your silver hair. It's like, but there's so much more to me.
Right.
And that's really what's happening nowadays, is everybody's trying to find that little niche to categorize us or put us in a label on us. And it's like, but we're fascinating people. We go beyond. I'm not just a 59-year-old like you, or a bald person or whatever. It's like, as we talked in that interview, it's like, you probably didn't know I was from aerospace. You probably didn't know I worked on the B-1, and I also did Peacekeeper in the Reagan days and the whole works.
Oh, cool.
And it's like, we all have these wonderful histories. And it's like, if you're just caught up in the fact that I was a 59-year-old old fart, you'd miss out on all that stuff we could talk about. And you and I, every time you and I talk more, we find out more things about each other.
And that's something else too, because when all that stuff, technology was going on, when I was working for the state police, we were also working with the military. Yeah. So we did a lot of their stuff for them as well. So whatever they needed, we were there for them. So when people say state police, no, I just didn't work on state police cars. I worked on bomb squad vehicles. I worked on detective cars. I worked on under surveillance vehicles like telephone bell trucks. And I mean, it was like, whatever, limousines, motor homes, RVs, whatever, travel and tourism, the state provides you a job. They tell you to work here, but you're over here, you're over here, you're over here, over here, over here. And, I gather it as a learning experience, just like Felix said. I also gather as a time and situation of, bonding together, working together, as he said, on the submarine. And at the same time, learning more from other people, because I made military friends then. I made friends in every district or company that we worked with.
Yeah.
So I don't look at it as a bad thing. I don't want to be put in that one category. Just like you said, silver hair. Look at what we've accomplished. You and I are both like, look, we're going in whatever, our 50s, 60s, 70s, whatever. But we've accomplished. We're our own radio station owners. I've been a radio station owner since 1996, 97. My one friend said, he said, that's amazing, because everybody he knows has been in and out of the radio, for many times. And he says, you're still doing it. I said, yeah, I'm still doing it. I'm following technology. I'm making it happen for myself, and I'm not going away. I'm going to pursue whatever it is I want to do. Either people stay with me or they can go and do it their way. I always found it's easier if we all friend each other and work together as one unit, and then help promote both units. Because now we have double, like we always talk about, we have double promotion, we have double this, double that. And anytime you have double of something, it's always better.
Yeah, definitely. And like our mission over here is, we're definitely Christian based, but that's all I say. I don't like to go any farther than that, because I want to turn people off.
I know what you're saying.
But we also believe that we have some unique things happening in. It's not one part or the other. We just have some economic things going on. And the other thing is, people need to learn to get more self-reliant, which is just healthy to do all the time. So we've taken all the skills we've had throughout the years and moved it forward to what our causes are today. And like you have things you're passionate about. Mine is, I don't like to say prepping, as I say self-reliance, and being ready for economic change. And by the way, that doesn't matter what affiliation you are. Economic changes happen in a cycle anyway. It doesn't matter if it's one side or the other. It's going to happen. How do you get prepared for it, and how do you survive it? And so those are the kind of passions we have. So we take all of our talents that we've had throughout our whole lives, team up with others, and get our messages through.
Right.
And this is a good example of that.
So you said you had some new shows coming on. So why don't you talk about that a little bit? Tell me what kind of shows you got coming up.
Well, on Good Talk Radio, I've learned over time as people will show interest. Everybody wants to be on your radio station, by the way. This is how it is.
I know.
But then there's a different caliber of people who realize that being on a radio station is partnership. When I find those people, those are the ones I embrace.
Right.
They embrace the fact that they have the opportunity. In fact, I got to tell you a story. Chip from Leo's Roundtable, which is about police departments and stuff. He started syndicating with us, and he's never done it before. And he just called me the other day because he had to change his format. And now, it's Law Enforcement, Leo. Gosh, talk about police. They go through all these police scenarios and then break them down and say what they did right or wrong. Excellent show. And so what I like about the partnership is he started with us because we're a smaller station, and we helped him get his process down of learning how to make your files, how to be timely, how to stay on time, all those things. Well, now he just called me the other day. He goes, Rob, I got to change my file styles because now I'm in FM radio and all this stuff, and now they want timestamps and all that stuff. And I laugh, and because we were the ones that got him started. That's and beautiful. He knows that. And so the partnership's even stronger, even though he's with these bigger stations now. He always comes back to us and makes sure that we're okay. And that's a partnership that we helped him grow and learn processes so he could be better at it, so he could grow into other stations.
Right.
And I know you do the same thing I do.
I
And
do.
we're very happy to see our syndications grow to other stations. And so yeah, Leo Roundtable is like one of my, I'm so proud to be part of his growth. But yeah, we just got a new guy called Mr. Biz. He's just now coming on at 7 o'clock with us. It's a good show, very respectful. I think he's a little bigger than some, and yet he treated us like we were like the giant station of the whole wide world. His attitude was just embracing every radio station like they're the biggest thing in the whole wide world.
They should.
And once again, I just felt like, wow, we got a good partnership here. And so all of our syndications are to help people grow, but at the same time, a partnership. They help us, we help them. And I've learned over the last year or so, those are the shows that we want, because they typically will do a better show too, because they care about the community. And so lessons learned.
Yeah, and here's the thing I could say to that is when I actually was doing a radio show where we did 3-hour music, was called a weekend oldie feature show. I was on about 5 radio stations, and everybody that got the show, everybody that got the email, and I told them where to pick the show up and everything like that. I treat it just like you said. You treat them just like their station is, the $1 million, because without them, there's no other listeners. Without them, and you have to look at that. People don't look at that. They're like, just another radio station. No, if you look at it as just another radio station, you will fail. But if you look at it as this is a huge accomplishment for me, and I looked at it like, wow, this is huge for me.
Yeah,
let's do this, And I treated them with like you said, you treat everybody the same, but you always treat them with good respect and a lot of love. And you tell them, whatever you need, I got it for you. You want me to make a promo? You got it. You want this? I got it. I'll put you on the website. Everything is shared, right?
Yep. And the simplest things that you may not even think I noticed it. As we're doing this show, I noticed you put my banner up there.
Yes, I did.
Because
I was in the bottom. That's why I didn't.
It's like, you're awesome. I'm going, whoa. I saw it up in the corner. I'm going, I didn't ask you to do that. You did it. And I think you had to search and go find something.
I did.
It's like, where did he get that banner? But I'm going, but he thought of it.
Yes, I did.
That's the amazing thing about people like you and I, is we understand we're doing each other, we're helping each other. And you took the time to put my banner up there without even me asking. Don't think I didn't notice it. And I'm so grateful. And then we obviously would return the favor if we're doing the interview, to make sure Hamilton Radio got a little bit of something. It may seem simple to everybody else, but to me, it's like, you honored me, and that's awesome.
Well, I remember. See, here's the thing, and I'll let you go. The thing is, you did a show with me not long ago, and I don't forget good gestures. I don't forget. I'm just like you are. I don't forget good things like that. And you did a show for me, and you honored me on your station. Oh, so I said, this is going to be a way where I not only can, help more people come your way that have been friends of mine maybe for years or whatever. The point is, I want to share whatever I have with you, and I want to share whatever I have with the audience and the listeners, all on both sides. I don't see any problem with that.
And it's like your interview. About every 3 months or so, I'll go through all those and I submit them back out to the world. Nice. And so even though we did that one show, I've posted it several times just as like, it's time for someone to get slapped in the face with Hamilton Radio.
And I got new shows coming up too, and I'll just talk a little bit about them. I have a spiritual show that I reached out with a lady. She's going to be doing it. She's been doing spiritual for 30 years. Never did a radio show. And when I told her, she says, oh my God, I got sponsors. I'm like, let's get this started. Let's get this done. And then I reached out to a couple other friends, and they said, oh my God, we can't wait to come on the show. We want to be guests. And I said, well, we'll see. We'll have a guest time. Yeah. I look at it as, this is a big, big advantage with us with StreamYard, Zoom, and all these, visual. To me, visual is always better than audio.
I agree.
At the time, audio is great. You know, there is a time that is great, and it's always going to be there. We're talking now. You can hear us now. But the picture, you can see the person's emotions. You can see their visual contacts.
Yeah.
It just, I mean, when I was watching Felix down there, I could see how heartfelt he was when he was telling these stories.
Definitely.
And I feel for him. I really feel for him. I can understand, almost put me in that position where I understand what he was talking about. And this is why I wanted to do this show, because I think it's important that people that, not only my friends, if you want to bring your friends on too, you're welcome to anyway. The thing is, we share with the listening audience, we share with the visual audience, and we help. Like you said, he needs sponsors. Well, guys, here's your chance. Be a sponsor of this guy. He's an amazing person, and he's done so many different things. Who would not want to sponsor him? What company would not want to sponsor this guy? And he's been at the White House and everything. So, and don't forget us. For us, we're the ones that brought him out to you. So, there's that little tie in there.
Mm-hmm.
And
nothing feels sweeter than, even though you've done something little, or you may not be as big as the big guys, and you do something for it, and that person comes back a year later and says, "Thanks for getting me started."
Yeah.
And don't forget. And it's like, what a heartfelt thing,
Yeah. And then and here's the other thing, you get ungrateful people because they don't see.
We get more of them, unfortunately.
But they don't see our inner heart, that we are trying to help them get up to a bigger and better place than where they are.
Yeah. So the spiritual show you're doing, what do you mean by spiritual?
Oh my God, it's so much stuff. She is doing so much stuff on there. She's doing ET technology. She's going to talk about med beds. She's going to talk about, I'm just touching on these little things. She's talking about, and I know this is real, frequency
attraction.
Yeah, frequency removal of all diseases in the body. Because if you look at Star Trek, right?
Yeah.
And I know a lot of my friends are Star Trek fans, and Will Schreiner, he was on there, and he's a friend. If you look at Star Trek and the energy technology that they had available with their wand, or when people laid on the bed, that was real. I mean, that wasn't real. It was a fake similary. But it was a reality that there was actually something like that would come in the future, because our bodies are all frequency.
Yep.
If your body's off on a certain frequency, you just tap into that frequency and you heal and fix yourself right away. You don't need doctors, you don't need hospitals, and you don't need a lot of the health insurance. So it actually saves the country money.
I really could use one of those machines right now.
So can I. My back has been hurting. I got pain in the side here that's all the way up and down. I don't know what that is. I don't know what it's in my back, but you know what? I'm still, taking stuff for the stones, and I'm drinking that red clover every day to try to help the heart pump more blood, and then the blood going all over the body, the capillaries and every little veins you have in your body.
Yeah, you're like me. We're getting to that age where, the doctors, the first thing they want to do is say, well, take this for your prescription for the rest of your life. And it's like, hell no. First thing I want to do is go out and find out what did God put out in the world? What plant out there? What vitamin out there would do a better job than me being addicted to some kind, well, not addicted, but taking a prescription that always has cause and effect. There's always something like, you take this for high blood pressure, but you have 5 other new problems.
Yeah, and I've been there. I took the statins. I've been there. I've done that.
Yeah.
I take blood pressure medicine.
So I'm trying so hard to not get there. I have no prescriptions, and I'm very fortunate. I know that there's folks that really do need them, but I am trying, and I'm going to kick and scream as long as I can, and try to do it through my diet and spirituality too. But yeah, so I know you're facing and trying to do the same thing in your way too, and I get a kick out of that because you and I, we're kicking and screaming.
I do videos on it every now and then, Facebook Lives, and
I've seen them.
Catch me on it. But the one thing I will say is this red clover that I've been taking, and I tell everybody, this red clover is an amazing flower. It has the ability to lower blood pressure. And the
Mhm.
way I know is I've been on it about a month, taking it every day. I put it in water and I drink it, about 30 drops. It's a tincture.
Yeah.
And I went to the doctor and had to get my handicap thing done. And he checked my blood pressure. And he says, I don't know what you're doing, but keep doing it. I says, why? He said, because your blood pressure is really is great. He says, it's 100. It was 120 over 85. And he says, last time you were here, it was like almost 150. And that was a couple months ago. I'm not saying that the red clover is the only thing, but other than anything else, I didn't really change. I've tried to pull back on stress a little bit. Red clover is probably one of the main things that I've changed.
Yeah,
So,
my magical ingredient over here is turmeric.
yeah, turmeric, that's good too.
I have diverticulitis, so I take a capsule every day. And no, I mean, it's not the cure, and it doesn't make it, but it really is giving me a lot more relief and less discomfort, because it's all about probiotics and stuff. And anyway, that was, once I discovered that, I take it daily, and it's really helped my gut do better, because I always get the bad cramping and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I still get it once in a while. It's not perfect, but that's been my miracle natural drug, if you want to put it that way. And I much rather take that than be taking this stuff over the counter, because I don't know what the crap they're putting in it.
And they don't know the crap they put in it. The druggist doesn't know the crap what they put in it. The doctor just assumes that they know, because that's what the pharmaceutical rep told them. So, yeah,
And when you study enough, it's like this COVID thing. They say two of the main ingredients that helps you is vitamin D and zinc.
Yep.
Well, I take those daily, and so far so good.
Yep. Totally agree. Well, brother, it was a pleasure. Thanks for being here.
Yeah,
I can't wait till we do it again. What do you think of StreamYard?
I think you sold it. I think I may have to sign up for it. I like it. I like how you can run your banners, and it also identifies people coming on the screen.
Yep.
It looks a lot like Zoom, but it looks like it's got a couple of really nice features.
I love it because, like I said, there's no setup. It's running through the browser, so that software running, which takes more memory and resources of the computer. And as long as your browser's working, it works.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been kind of stuck always using XSplit and then Zoom or Skype, and so yeah, I need to change my ways. Keep growing with technology.
Absolutely. And you remember, you can change in the comments. You can change anything you want. If people comment, you can pop that on the screen. I love that, and I love that. Change your logo like that. That was so quick.
I was like, whoa!
I know. And
that was really cool. You did that.
And I shared the screen. I showed a picture of Felix for a little bit, which I wanted to see where that would go, and you can have up to 10 people on the screen, so it's not a bad deal. It's not a bad deal. I know you're a bigger one, but
I don't have boxes and windows behind me and get in the studio. I'll probably sign up and give it a try for a month or two and see how I like it.
Yeah. Let me know what you think, because there might be things that you find out that I haven't had a chance to find.
Yeah, it's always fun to find somebody else that's doing the same thing. Go, did you know that this little button down here does this? He's like, oh wow.
Yeah, it's got the invite screen, the shared screen, and of course, if you're having issues, they click on it. It's supposed to go to their tech support right away. It's almost like an in-house chat with them, so they'll fix the problem as you're talking to them. That's what they told me, so I don't know.
Cool.
All right, I'll talk to you later, brother. Thanks again for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
And it was a pleasure having you. It was a pleasure having Felix, and I want to wish you both well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Take care. Be safe.
You too, bro. Bye-bye.
Bye.